What if Alexander the Great lived longer as Roman Emperor Augustus? Augustus died at age 75. If Alexander the Great lived for 75 years, what would happen? In this video we will explore the hypothetical scenario of Alexander's continued reign, examining the possible outcomes of further expansion, a potentially peaceful empire, the succession crisis, and the lasting legacy of this enigmatic figure. The first thing would be conquests of Rome and Carthage. If Alexander the Great had lived longer, it is possible that he would have continued his military campaigns and expanded his empire even further. One possibility is that he would have turned his attention westward and launched invasions of Rome and Carthage. Conquests of India and China. Alexander once had invaded India in a bloody battle against King Porus on the banks of the Hydaspes River. He was very impressed by the wealth and beauty of India. If he had lived longer, he would likely have continued his conquests in this direction, with India and China being his primary targets. No wars of the Diadochi. One of the biggest consequences of Alexander the Great's early death was the Wars of the Diadochi, which were extremely bloody and destructive and led to the fragmentation of his empire. If Alexander the Great had lived longer, so there is no Wars of Diadochi happened. Successful reign of Alexander IV of Macedon. One of Alexander's greatest failings was his failure to establish a clear succession plan for his empire. This led to a power struggle among his generals, known as the Wars of the Diadochi. So if Alexander the Great had lived longer, there could have been a successful succession plan in place for his son Alexander IV of Macedon. No Roman Empire. A fun fact is, if Alexander the Great lived longer as Emperor Augustus, so there would no Emperor Augustus. Yes, Alexander the Great may have prevented the rise of the Roman Empire. Even if Alexander didn't directly conquer Rome, the fact that the Hellenistic world was fragmented after his death made it easier for Rome to expand into the area. However, suppose the area had been more united under a single ruler. In that case, it may have provided a stronger resistance to the invading Romans, making their conquest of the area much more difficult. And the last, if Alexander the Great had lived longer, so there would no Seleucid, Antipatrid, Antigonid and Ptolemaic dynasty ever rule.